Good morning, Mets fans, and welcome to a Wednesday edition of Driving with Mr. Met. I am Mr. Met, and let me just say that I am glad I didn't go to last night's game in Philadelphia. The Mets got shellacked last night behind a completely empty effort by Steven Matz. Of course, the Phillies scored 10 runs in the first inning en route to a 13-4 victory, I think was the final score. Whatever, doesn't matter. It's a loss. It doesn't count as two losses. A lot of sloppy play in the infield. I'm going to talk about the game, which I wasn't able to watch, but I was able to listen to from start to finish. So I want to chat about the game and the rubber match coming up this afternoon at 1 o'clock. For the first 3 weeks of the season, Steven Matz had the best ERA on the Mets pitching staff of the starting pitchers, and probably outside of Edwin Diaz, probably the best ERA on the whole staff. I didn't look at that, but in any event, going into yesterday's game, Matz was right up there. He had a 1.6 something ERA, if I'm not mistaken, and after he pulled a Trevor Rosenthal in the first inning, an infinity ERA for last night's game, no outs recorded, 8 runs. The good thing about an infinity ERA is that it could just mean that you gave up 1 run without recording an out. It doesn't matter if you give it up 1 or 100. So Matz can look back at this game and be like, I only gave up 1. But after that, his ERA jumped up 3+ points. So his ERA is now in the mid to upper 4s, which frankly is probably where his ERA is going to end up for the season. Just a shame that things kind of fell apart last night. I was really feeling positive about Matz going into this season, feeling like he could take the same step forward that Zach Wheeler took last year. And I've always said this, I've always believed it, I still believe it, and last night proves it. Matz's problems have always been more in between the ears as opposed to physical. Yes, he's had injuries, and they've been of the freak nature, but his mental fortitude, his ability to shrug off something that doesn't go his way, just doesn't exist. I mean, where we are blessed to be able to see Jacob deGrom, up until his last 2 starts at least, get a guy on base or have something not go exactly according to plan, and instead of getting down about it, he grits his teeth, bears down, and gets better. And Matz does the polar opposite. It seems like anytime anything goes off the script for Matz, whether it be the error that Rosario committed on the first play of the game, or the immediate home run that Matz let up, it's like as soon as the first drop of water comes out, it's the floodgates are open. And that's the thing that Matz really needs to work on, and I was hoping that that'd be the thing he would get over, and it doesn't seem like he's over it. In fact, last night was one of his worst outbursts ever as a starter for the Mets. So he put the Mets behind the 8 ball from the beginning of the game. It was a game that no chance the Mets were going to win it. An interesting start in that the Mets got the first 2 runners on and weren't able to score in the first inning, and that's an unfortunate start to the game. It would have been a huge momentum builder, in my opinion, had the Mets put up 1 or even 2 runs in the top of the first. It might have changed the way Matz pitched in the bottom half, but we'll never know. And again, it's a loss. So the GOAT for last night's game obviously is going to be Steven Matz. I'm not going to give out a game ball for last night, but I do want to tip the cap to Drew Gagnon or Gagnon or Gagnon or however the hell we pronounce that name. He ate up 5 1/3 innings last night, and he gave up 6 runs in the process, but he managed to do what a long man should be able to do, and he wasn't effective, right? I mean, his ERA was over 9, but he was able to give the Mets length, give the bullpen a rest, and put them in a position where today, with Zach Wheeler on the mound, the horses are going to be ready to come out running, out of the bullpen, that is, and that's a good thing. So heading into today's game, we're probably going to see Wilson Ramos on the bench, day game after the night game. They were talking about this on the broadcast last night, that Mickey really doesn't want to rest his regulars too much, particularly in these division games, which are so important. So I think Ramos will be the only face out of the lineup today. I think we'll see the rest of the usual suspects in there at all positions, with the exception of Brandon Nimmo, who I think they'll be safe about and play it safe and not have him play today. He came out of the game last night with a strain in his neck or a stiff neck or something, so he'll be day to day, and I don't think he'll get he'll see time today. I think we'll see Broxton in the outfield since Lagares played last night. So the Mets, I don't want to say desperately, they really need to take this game against the Phillies today. Arrieta pitches for Philadelphia, so it's not going to be an easy task, but the Mets have to be able to. First, Wheeler has to be able to keep the Phillies off the board and cannot allow something like yesterday to happen again today. And then secondly, the Mets need to get out and score runs just like they did the night before. So those are the 1-2 tasks, and it should be in the opposite order, because it would be great if the Mets could get on the board to open the game and sort of immediately flush the memories of last night's debacle down the toilet and move on from it. These are professional athletes. We know they can do that, but I think as fans, we'll all feel better if we see it happen right away. So Wheeler, Arrieta today, 1 o'clock. Off day tomorrow, and then the Mets head to St. Louis. So I will be back more than likely tomorrow morning to talk about today's game, what I was able to hear of it, because I will not be able to watch it. And then I'll be off on Friday, so I probably won't come back after tomorrow until Monday. But until then, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's take this rubber game from the Phillies. 1 o'clock start. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter at Mr_Met. That's MISTER_MET. And as always, let's go Mets.